Hello, everyone. It is day 2 of my. I stepped in some water. That's coming out of my car. Just water condensed into my car. But this is day 2 of my video series that I'm making, inspired by the Asian guy on Instagram, who I have a lot of respect for. He's doing the series he calls Faithless Christianity, which is, I believe, inspired by, or it's very similar to, it's probably came from the collective unconscious. It's Peterson put the idea into the collective unconscious, and now he's emerging out of the collective unconscious with that idea. Like putting something into the ocean and someone draws it up out of the ocean somewhere else. So even though you can't see it, it's the same idea while it's moving. And it's the idea of acting as though God exists. And my idea was, I was seeing this and I was like, I could be more inspired by God. There's a period in my life where I was very inspired by God and everything went very well, and I kind of just made mistakes and stuff, and I lost inertia. Like nothing crazy. I went back to college to try to finish my degree instead of continuing this business that I had, and I feel like that led to like a fall from grace that created a downward spiral, and there's a whole bunch of factors, and COVID was going on at the time, and like my dad got cancer, and like thank God he got better, and like there's so many things. Like I had severe health problems that were developing that whole time, that I had my whole life, that like I thought were in remission and like kind of were, but then like came back, like autoimmunity. And I did carnivore and it was so successful that I went off of carnivore, and then now I'm never going to go off carnivore again because holy cow. Like I was fine for years. And when it came back, oh my God, it was like horrible. It was like worse than it's ever been. And I was so fine. I felt like pretty much fine. I mean, I had like stomach problems, though. I feel way better now, but I had stomach problems. I get like a little bit. I mean, I always had stomach problems, though. I mean, this is the thing. If you're sick, you don't really know you're sick. So when you have periods where you feel healthier, there can still be many, many things that are wrong, but you just dismiss them because you're so much better than you were previously that it doesn't really stand out. It actually feels like there's nothing wrong. But now I've kind of, like now the thing I'm ignoring is like mold in houses. So I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not doing anything crazy right now, but I'm going to be investigating mold in houses over the next few years and stuff. And just everything that comes up, I'm just going to investigate, because not investigating it just has such a high cost in terms of health problems for me. Like, if you look up like Michaela Peterson, like I have health problems similar to Michaela Peterson, but instead of arthritis, I develop insomnia and I lose the ability to digest food. And it's just like psychotic. Similar to the disease called Morvan syndrome and anti-NMDA receptor encephalopathy, which I both believe are just different names for the disease they call fatal insomnia, but I think it's not even that. It's not, I mean, you call it fatal. It's just so stupid, like fatal insomnia. Like, here's what it is. It's like I have a severe soy allergy, and a lot of the drugs are derived from soy. So if you took me into the hospital in the middle of one of my autoimmune insomnia episodes, which are basically identical to Morvan syndrome, and gave me soy-based drugs, I would have a fatal insomnia-like reaction, but it's not to the drug. It's not like because I have fatal insomnia. It's just because you gave me stuff that I'm reacting to, because you didn't realize that the highly refined soybean oil, there's bugs biting me, that's why I keep wiping my face. We didn't realize the highly refined soybean oil was actually soy. So therefore, yeah, it's just issues. But I'm a chemist and quite bright, thank God. And I'm just saying that because, like, in some sense of like, thank God this happened to me. It happened to other people too. I have the utmost respect for the people who actually died from fatal insomnia, because their refusal to kill themselves or overdose on drugs, despite the absolutely horrific nature of this illness. I mean, I've had 2 separate months, many more weeks than I can count, 2 separate months straight where I didn't sleep a wink. It's horrible. It's the worst form of torture. I really relate to Nolan's Oppenheimer and Odyssey, simply because I've really struggled with the ethic of bringing my research to the world, because I've realized, like, but like it's just not for me to judge, like I am a piece in a larger game. It's not for me to judge what the effect of my research will be, because again, if I can tell you how to undo it, that means I'm also telling you how to do it too. And I shudder to think about the military applications of that for torture. Like, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, just the idea of that being used against people scares the absolute bejesus out of me. So I see it as my moral obligation to build all the systems necessary to make a world where that is disincentivized. Because you can't stop people from doing things, but you think about it, you're like, okay, well, in what economy would people not want to do that? And you're like, how can I? But even then, the Eli Whitney and the cotton gin, like, these things can backfire. I don't know. We're just pieces in a larger game. I feel like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. But anyway, so this guy is making videos where he's like, I'm going to act as though God is real. And I'm like, well, I'm going to act as though, and it's helping him. And the videos inspire me. So I'm like, I'm going to act as though God showed me these videos in order to inspire me to do my own series of videos and read from the same devotional book as him and do a 30-minute meditation where I dwell in the presence of God as I understand it. And I did that yesterday and it was great. And today I just didn't feel like doing it at all, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's just like, you got to do things. But I took some supplements this way. I'm burping. I took a bunch of tyrosine, salt, and caffeine, and chlorella, and all this stuff. And you say, like, why are you taking caffeine late at night? And it's like just weird. I took CBD too. My body responds strangely to things. It's been working and helping me sleep, surprisingly. At some point, these things stop helping me sleep. I find I go off of stimulants and weed at the same time, and then readjust slight doses of CBD and stimulants through green tea until I reach a stable threshold where I'm consuming enough green tea to not have stimulant withdrawal, and but not so much that I need CBD or THC to calm my brain down. And then I've maintained that for multiple periods of months over the last 3 years, mostly over the last 12 months. So that's what I'm doing to stabilize myself every time my body destabilizes. It's a pain in the butt, but I can tell you, most people, like most societies, are soft. Most societies in the world today, they're soft. You look at the Spartan society, they're hard. You look at me, I'm hard. I'm actually hard. Like, I have a different quality to me that people do not possess. This quality of hardness, which comes from my life being constant difficulty to survive from a young age. I have to constantly strategically think, how am I going to gain the knowledge necessary to figure out what to do to digest food, to get to sleep. It's very much like the mindset of, how do I get to safety? But I didn't allow it to make me shrink from the world. I kind of used it as like motivation to push myself harder, because I was like, well, if I have a sickness, I can't know if I'm going to like live that long. So I used to tell people, and this is totally a joke, and it's definitely just like, I used to tell people growing up, like, they'd be like, oh, I'm going to do all of these things. I wouldn't like say it like a prophecy, but I would just like tell, like, people would be like, oh, like, I'm going to do all these things and I'm 40 and 50 and everything. And like, they're in school. And I was very upset that I was in public school, or just school in general, because I felt like I had my freedom taken away from me, because I did. I just wanted to read books and stuff. And I kept on having like my books confiscated by the teachers because they told me they were too advanced for me. I know, school literally. Like, that's why I feel like, well, you had to go to school to get an education. I'm like, I had books confiscated because they told me they were too advanced for me. I'm like, school was just taking away my education. Like, you want to tell me that, like, you want to gaslight? Like, that's just like next level gaslighting. It's like, school, you had to go to school to get it. Like, they were confiscating my books. This is next level gaslighting, people. So basically, I'll start some theanine. Theanine is great. to theanine. I combined it with some creatine. Theanine with creatine. Oh my God, it's like brain lubricant. The creatine helps the ATP production in the brain, which most affects the brain because brain tissue has some of the most mitochondria in the body. And then the theanine provides some GABA, so you get this like, it just feels like cool water rushing rapidly through my pipes. I'm just like, oh my God, my brain feels amazing. Literally theanine, CBD, caffeine, salt pills, tyrosine, caffeine, green tea, a lot of CBD, but ooh, my brain just feels like a Ferrari. But anyway, but like I think that's actually something interesting. I mean, like that's a very effective drug combination, but isn't it interesting that like I think drug control, I don't know, drugs are powerful. I understand why people would want to control drug use. Drugs are very powerful. I'm going to limit these videos to about 10 minutes because that's going to, this one might go to maybe 15 minutes, but I'm not going to have it go much longer than 15. But I'm going to use these videos to explain a lot of ideas, and I'm going to re-listen to each of these videos. I just re-listened to the last video and I found it very inspiring. And I'm going to make this into a nice little series and kind of tie current events and philosophy and what I'm doing every day into this video series and tie that into the habit of reading from the Jesus Calling book and doing my 30-minute dwelling in the presence of God meditation, and really trying to, not just trying, but believing, deciding to believe that God has used this little thing, maybe big thing. I mean, I think it's a big thing. This Instagram phenomenon to inspire me to do this. I mean, I feel inspired by doing it, so I'm just going to kind of keep on that. And let you know how it's going, because that's a current thread that I can tie things to. And I've been told many times to do a thread on the carnivore diet, and I find it kind of boring having to talk about it all the time, because I'm not doing it for performance. I'm just doing it to like stay alive, and often feels like I'm failing to do that too. So I don't really like talking about it. If you want to ask me questions about the carnivore diet, I'd love to answer any questions, but it's just a daily thing of talking about it. It basically comes down to, I eat this way so that I don't die, and I honestly feel like it's failing a lot of the time, but it's failing less than the other methods, so I've developed hyper-sophisticated systems around how I'm going to explore other adaptations to this diet in the future and going forward in order to maximize the chances that I don't die an absolutely horrific death. And I just have to think about this now, because I'm making these videos every day, and I'd just rather like eat my food and plot about things and stuff than have to make videos focused on this singular topic, because it really just kind of irritates me, because when I talk about it, it seems like I'm wanting sympathy, but I'm really just not wanting sympathy, but I'm really just wanting to be healthy. And I have a lot of content about the carnivore diet. So if you want to know anything about the carnivore diet, you can just watch those videos or just ask me a question. And I'll probably write a book about the carnivore diet, and I'll promote that on a website that'll have articles about the carnivore diet. But as for daily video series, I really just don't want to do one on the carnivore diet, because it's really the least interesting aspect of what I'm doing in terms of optimizing things for me, because it's simply one tool in my arsenal. If you really want to understand it, again, ask me a question. But I could focus on it as a component, but ultimately at the end of the day, you really just have to do what works best for you, which is going to be contingent on your own body genetics, history, family history, gut microbiome, environmental stressors, and what's available to you, because ultimately we sort of force ourselves to adapt to various versions of what is available to us through feedback loops that we have to make ourselves become aware of. And right there, I just said pretty much everything that I'm going to say about the carnivore diet, plus or minus a lot of things about how it affects my training. And I don't feel like reiterating it every single day, but I do like talking about it, and I will definitely bring it up at times, but I'm definitely not going to, I don't know, who knows, maybe in the future, whatever. Devin out.